So anytime that I get the opportunity to discuss anything that Cathie Wood is doing with you guys on this channel, you know I'm going to take advantage of it. For those of you who don't know who Cathie Wood is, y'all are probably new investors or traders. Cathie Wood is the CEO of ARK Invest. And I'd like to point out today that she's been very adamant in her claim that the pandemic is responsible for spurring innovation in tech companies. But for one very special company that has already proven to the entire world just how innovative it can be, innovation alone was not enough to take it to that next level and allow it to eventually operate at its full potential. On a brighter note, the Roni did a lot more for this company than simply just spur innovation. Instead, it created a perfect storm and became the catalyst for making Jumia's services an absolute necessity for survival. In this video, I'm going to be telling you everything that you will ever need to know about Jumia stock and my expectations for the future of the company. And we're going to be starting right now. Hey, what's going on? It's Pat from Top Ticker Trades. If this is your first time here and you want to learn how to grow your wealth through investing and trading stocks in the market, make sure you start right now by subscribing and tapping that bell so you never miss a thing. I'll see you in the video. Let's go. So first of all, before we even get into this video, I want to give a special shout out to Paul Da Silva. Paul's been all over my comments for a while now telling me to go ahead and cover Jumia and telling me that something special, something big was brewing. And up until just now, I've pretty much just slept on it. And it looks like this is a stock to be in for some major upside potential. So Paul, if you're watching this, I really do appreciate it, as it appears to be a great contribution to the channel, to all the subscribers, and everybody that's watching right now. And I would hate to miss any more lucrative opportunities like this one. So if anyone has anything that they're watching right now that they think is of the same caliber, or something that they're just convinced will explode, please do let me know in the comments below, and I will take a look at it and see if we can't turn it into another video like this one. So Jumia at one point was dubbed as the Amazon of Africa, and named so appropriately, might I add, as it is in fact Africa's largest e-commerce market. The company has amazingly been able to surpass both Amazon and Alibaba, which gives us good enough justification to call it or refer to it as the Amazon of Africa, if you ask me. It made a strong and memorable entrance on its first day of trading, seeing 75% gains on its IPO, which was in April of 2019. In fact, we saw that Jumia had its stock skyrocket from around $14.50 when it IPO'd to nearly $50 before falling hard on skepticism. But in the past, the company has not only been referred to as a fraud, its Africanness has been called into question due to the fact that the company has European leadership and shareholders. However, I don't think this is any longer a question for anyone, as the company does employ over 5,000 workers in Africa, and all of its business is done in Africa. Now, there have been several problems for e-commerce companies that are wanting to compete in Africa, and one of them is that the country is very underdeveloped, both technologically and in its infrastructure, which has been proven as ineffective in the past. Jumia was designed for an area where its user base is technologically challenged and therefore had to be designed in a way that would address this problem. On May 28, 2019, Andrew Left of Citron Research decided to come out and say that basically the company was a fraud, and released some data that happened to be incorrect. But anyhow, the stock still tumbled by 40% in just 2 days. But then Citigroup came out and released a report which pretty much debunked most of Citron's allegations. But a lot can change. Specifically, what I'm talking about is Citron Research and Andrew Left, who are now buying shares of Jumia, supposedly, or admittedly, would be a better word to use there. So he came out and made statements publicly saying basically that he made a huge mistake shorting Jumia and that he wouldn't dare short Jumia or a company like Jumia at this time. Another amazing thing happened earlier this month because Jumia made an announcement that will change the company forever. This announcement was the launch of the Jumia Games platform through a partnership with a tech company called Mondia. Now, Jumia Games brings thousands of games to 5 African countries through a subscription service and gives the company exactly what they needed in order to enter the e-commerce and mobile payment space. Africa can pretty much be considered as the last frontier of the digital revolution. With only a 40% internet penetration rating, I believe that the implications for a tremendous growth potential are huge. Which brings me to my next point, and that's going to be, ladies and gentlemen, 5G. 5G is going to change everything for a company like Jumia. No, it's going to change everything for Jumia, and let me tell you exactly why and how. They say that in order to predict the future, we need to look to the past, because the past is history, and history always tends to repeat itself. So what did we see from Jumia in the beginning? We saw crazy hype with everyone calling Jumia the Amazon of Africa, which translated into 75% gains on its first trading day as an IPO. So why did Jumia come down from there? Well, it's very simple. This, at the time, was based on all hype. There was no substance there. At the time, not only was Africa not ready for an e-commerce boom, but no one was buying things on the internet. Heck, no one was even online. Most Africans didn't even know how to use the internet. As a result, Jumia's revenue growth rates went negative and profits were under pressure. And as you can imagine, the stock took a massive dump. But fortunately enough, Jumia's stock started to rebound very strongly this year, with shares being up over 100% year to date. As investors, our job is to determine whether this can be attributed to more hype, which will ultimately result in the stock crashing again, or is there something more to this? So the question for us now becomes, what sparked this digital revolution in Jumia stock? Let me give you a little hint. The Roni. Yes, it would seem that the Roni accelerated the shift to digital products and services in 2020, and not even Africa was immune to the trend. As you can imagine, a transition like this didn't come easy, but when it comes to having and not having, African consumers have pivoted to more broadly adopting digital products and services, signaling that Africa's digital economic revolution may be underway. And the evidence may just be right under your nose. If we take a look at the Q2 earnings, I think you'll see what I'm getting at here. Jumia reported a 40% growth in active customers, 38% growth in marketplace revenue, and 106% in payment volume growth through Jumia Pay, which is the company's digital payment business. It seems that Jumia's management team is also a contributing factor. Through appropriately executing cost-cutting and fulfillment optimization initiatives, which has ultimately resulted in a significant improvement in gross margins year to date. They're up more than 12 percentage points, and huge reductions in the OPEX base, which is down more than 18% year over year. So what's the result? Jumia's gross profits are soaring up 38% in Q2, while operating loss is significantly narrowing and down 44%. In other words, against the backdrop of some major specular tailwinds, Jumia is executing strongly and viciously, growing nicely, which is powering a big rebound in Jumia's stock. But it is very possible that this rebound is just now getting started. Why? Because of 5G. 5G sustains this. If the Roni started Africa's digital economic revolution in 2020, then 5G will sustain it over this next decade. 5G is wireless technology. meaning that there's no need for big fiber optic cables to make it work. All that's needed is a few base stations, and those base stations beam high-speed mobile internet connectivity to everyone, all the time, regardless of where they live. Now, with that being said, 5G offers a highly scalable, flexible, and affordable way to implement robust mobile-based internet infrastructure. And that's something that is lacking in Africa right now, but is very much needed. Which, if you're paying attention, is the exact reason that Africa is jumping on this 5G bandwagon. Telecommunications companies are all over it and starting to deploy super fast 5G internet. MTN Group is already deploying 5G internet in Nigeria. Safaricom has plans to launch 5G mobile internet services in Kenya this year. And let's not forget about Vodacom, who has also launched a 5G network in Lesotho. I think it's fair to say that multiple companies are running 5G trials in South Africa, with more to follow very soon. It would appear that the 5G revolution will open doors for Africa and connect it to the world of high-speed internet. And when that happens, Africa's e-commerce market will absolutely explode, especially since the Roni has already forced Africa into the digital revolution. We've already seen a 100% growth in mobile phone users, and Africa's e-commerce market is expected to grow by more than 400% by 2025. That's $75 billion, with Jumia having 70% of the current market share. It only makes sense that we should expect the company to be at the epicenter of this boom, which implies a big future growth prospects for Jumia's stock are underway. Bottom line, Jumia is on its way to quickly transitioning from once being an all-hype spec company into a powerful tech giant like Amazon and Alibaba. Now, of course, 5G will also undoubtedly bring in the big boys to play. And Jumia will be pitted against them, no doubt, but ultimately, it's going to be left to fight for its survival. However, those that believe that Jumia won't be able to hold its own against these giants should remember that Jumia is the home team, and it certainly will have the home team advantage with it. In other words, Jumia is already there and a recognized brand with knowledge and the expertise that they gained, which allowed them to grow and flourish in this market in the first place. A market that's not so easy to compete in, a market that's much different than what Amazon and Alibaba are currently used to competing in. So, what are my current plans with Jumia stock? My plans are to open up a new position and hold and wait, buy in on every single dip and whenever it makes sense. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't recommend that you do the same, but I would certainly encourage you to look into this company by doing your own due diligence and deciding for yourself whether or not a stock like this will be good for your portfolio. But one thing that everyone should understand here is that this is a long-term play. This is not something that you can just jump into and expect to get 1 to 2 to 300% gains overnight. So if you're willing to hold and willing to take a risk, this might be the company for you. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, you've made it to the end of the video. If you found this video helpful, I ask that you help this channel out by smashing that like button, as it motivates me to keep making videos just like this one every single day. If you're not a subscriber, you should consider subscribing, as I publish valuable content like this daily. You can do so from your screen right now, and if you want to check out more of my videos, you can click on the video that you'd like to see on your screen right now. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.